Yes, we
Uh,
can.
okay, good. All right, you guys. Well, thank you once again. My name is Shanette Merrick, and I just want to talk to you guys about The Good Life, which is a really, really amazing program that was really birthed from what initially we thought was a really horrible situation as we were entering into the pandemic. Some beautiful things were born out of us being quarantined in the pandemic, and one of those things was the Good Life program for healthy aging that we so proudly deliver to the community. All right, so the Good Life is a public health research progress program sponsored by the California Department of Health and the NIH, and our leader and the doctor and the PI who leads this and developed the original study design for that, where the Good Life was born from, was Dr. David Johnson, and he is the director over the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center in the East Bay. All right, so um, back when I was hired, so we'll give you a little bit of background. Back in December of 2019, we're gearing up to get this amazing study going, which is based off of randomizing our participants into a um, health regimen. So it's either going to be nutrition or fitness class, and we're getting ready and we're getting set to go. But there was really no go because we were stopped. We were set to start up at the East Oakland Sports Center, which was a warm start was scheduled for April 1st in 2020 at the East Oakland Sports Center, which is an absolutely beautiful center. Hopefully, you Oakland residents get out there and really enjoy that space now that they're open back up. But they have all of this different amazing workout equipment, a great gym, a great pool, and a really nice outside area, walking area for you all to enjoy. So we were ready to get set to start our DDPP study at the East Oakland Sports Center. And then we were hit by COVID-19. We were all asked to shelter in place as of March 19th of 2020. So um, as you guys have probably know, we have come up on a little bit past our 2-year mark from we were originally sheltered in place. So I would like to say for all of you all, we made it through. It's been a very challenging 2 years, but I'm very happy to see that we're all here healthy and still standing and still ready to go. All right, so our COVID response team, which myself, Michael Tapman Jr., who is the Oakland fitness trainer, Sherilyn Thomas, who is our digital media consultant, Rochelle Nadaru, who was what we like to call the mechanic because she was just the fixer of everything, Erica Tutuan, who was worked in our recruitment area, Gwen Gates, who is also in recruitment, Claytoven Richardson, who is our video production person who works out of the city of Oakland also. He is now he was at the DACA Center, now at which center, Dr. Johnson? You can remind me, you can chime in and remind me which center he's at now.
Beethoven's over at the Arroyo Center. You guys
At the
start.
Arroyo Center. Thank you so much. Yeah, Claytoven is at the Arroyo Center now. And then we have Richard Bergstrom, who is now our Tice Creek Fitness Center. So we have 2 locations that we were going to run our study out of. And one is Tice Creek out there in Walnut Creek area. And the other center is in Oakland, California. All right. So based off of the original study design, we had basically three arms of the study. And so in that arm was the exercise component, and then we had another arm. So arm one, let's say, folks would get randomized into our exercise, or arm two, they would get exercise into diet. And then we have this other arm, which is social support. And so essentially what happened was in the midst of us being quarantined and us really having to transition our program from actual study into the Good Life program, the aerobics arm of the study turned into Let's Get Moving. The diet component of our study turned into Let's Get Cooking. And the social support component of our program transitioned into our peer-to-peer support groups. Okay, so as we know, like we quickly recognized with all of this that virtual support that was really needed, and it was offering us the opportunity to kind of rethink our design and what the benefits were to actually taking our program online. Our initial program was designed to be all in person, but of course we could not do that. So these new virtual components were getting adopted due to the crisis. The technology and adoption is higher among older adults now. We created a new model of service of delivery in a very short period of time that is successful in engaging the African American community in health and exercise, and also communities beyond the African American community. Honestly, we were really focused, and particularly in Oakland, focused on the African American community. But the cool thing about this is that we've been able to reach far more people that we could have ever dreamed of in the beginning. Okay, so the further delivery of this virtual curriculum meets mental health needs and our ever-growing number of isolated minority seniors in the midst of the pandemic. So that was another really amazing component of being able to take what was going to be an in-person program and transition our study into this online public health service, because we were able to meet the social needs of our seniors and really come to everyone's aid in a time where we all were kind of suffering from this isolation and loneliness and lack of exercise and other interactions with our family members and our friends. So although we were not collecting data due to the pandemic, we were able to reach so many more people with these virtual classes and actually really create something that became quite amazing. All right, so let's go on to the next slide. Oh, wait, my mouse is on the wrong thing. Hold on, sorry. All right, next slide. All right, so from the Let's Get Moving and the Let's Get Cooking and the peer-to-peer support, which was born The Good Life, you see at the bottom, we have the website for thegoodlifepath.org. And at some point, I'm probably going to cycle back around because I really want to have the opportunity to show you guys the website. But what I would like to do is really just introduce you all to our community partners and to the folks that we have working with us. And so, of course, one of our absolute favorite community partner, which is the City of Oakland Aging and Adult Services. We actually really love working with Jesse Cutter and Scott Means. Partnering with the City of Oakland Aging and Adult Services is extremely important to me. Thank you for the cheery for the cheer for the cheer, Jesse. Love it. Yes, because this gives us the opportunity to reach the community that needs to be served the most. And so this relationship is very important to us because we want to make sure that we work closely with the City of Oakland so we can deliver services to you all that are desperately needed in these times. Okay. And of course, the next partner that we work with in the City of Oakland is City of Oakland Parks and Recreation. And they are very instrumental in our growth and development because they provide us space. They also provide us and partner with us to make sure that we have the opportunity to bring classes and deliver classes to you. And hopefully soon we will start be able to bring our study back in person. So you all should look out for that, which is going to be really cool because the DDPP, which is Dementia Diabetes Prevention Program, is basically an amazing study where we randomize people into health and wellness classes to prove that a healthy lifestyle change will stop the onset of dementia and diabetes. And so it's really fun. It's actually one of the best studies that I think I've ever worked on in my research career, honestly. So thank you so much, the City of Oakland, for partnering with us to bring this program to our Oakland residents. All right, so our next community partner, which is Peers, and Peers, where we collaborated with peers and created a program called Peer to Peer, which is an online support group for anyone who wants to improve their health and well-being and quality of life. This is a peer-to-peer online support, and it's designed to be highly interactive and encourage sharing from everyone attending. So they start here to find, you can start here to find the right classes for you. So I'm kind of like reading my notes, but basically with these classes, it's like basically a group where it's facilitated by your peers. So they have different topics that they talk about for different communities, but for our particular group, we have somebody that is in the age demographic of their peers, and we facilitate conversations that are based around learning coping mechanisms to deal with stress, which was very much needed during the time of the pandemic. So we love peers very much. All right. And our next is a very important community partner, which is the California Department of Health. California Department of Health is where we acquire our funding to run this program. So they're very important partner for us. And then last but not least, of course, we have UC Davis. UC Davis Health, and UC Davis is where where Dr. Johnson and we both kind of live at the moment. Like I said, Dr. Johnson is the director over the UC Davis Alzheimer's Disease Center in the East Bay, which that location is located in Walnut Creek, where we run and operate a bunch of amazing studies based around Alzheimer's and dementia. Okay. All right, so here is the face to our website. And so this website has become really important because, you know, one of the really interesting things about when The Good Life got started is that we really genuinely rushed into providing these services, and then really honestly had to kind of work backwards to provide a platform for everybody to really kind of navigate these services. So I want to give a shout out to Sherilyn Thomas, who's done an amazing job at getting our website and everything and all of our VBO and ticketing together to make sure that it is a seamless process so everybody can get registered into the classes, and people can enter into the classes easily, and making the website nice and easy and streamless for our participants. And so for the different components of our exercise and our spirit, so one of our favorite people that we love in our exercise is Michael Tapman Jr. Michael Tapman Jr. is the here, I can go ahead and let that person in for you. All right, so Michael Tapman Jr. runs our cardio exercise classes, which we call Let's Get Moving. And they're held every Wednesday and Friday at 11 a.m. via Zoom. Michael is the son of a fitness trainer who actually also teaches for the city of Oakland. He's been professionally training for over 10 years, 8 years for the city of Oakland, and he is the lead fitness trainer for The Good Life for the past 2 years. Michael is great. Some of you all may know Michael Tapman because he probably works you into a real rigorous sweat every Wednesday and Friday. He's a really great instructor, though. We love Michael very much. He's awesome. All right. And so here is where I put in a video where I would like to actually show you. So we'll see how we're gonna play it, and hopefully my video works. So we'll see how I'm just gonna start it somewhere kind of in the middle.
We don't have sound.
You don't have sound? Oh no.
No, it's not playing through the PowerPoint for whatever reason, which is too bad.
If you go to your share screen, the little arrow next to the share screen, there might be a button that says share scan.
Got it. All right. My apologies.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, so let's see. Now it's kind of frozen. Can you hear it now?
Yes.
Right. There's two types of physical fitness. You got health-related physical fitness, all right, which some people might have, all right, so that's why we do this. And then your other one is performance-related physical fitness, which we all in this class for, right? All right, so that's our topic today, physical fitness. So we get to the Q&A. Pat gonna tell me a little bit about it.
All right, so I'm gonna stop it there.
Pat, but today we just go
one of the things that I really love
Don't do
about
one because
Michael's
we got to give
class
out
is
the
that
food today.
he does fun facts, and in his fun facts, he talks. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to get past the video. All right, in his fun facts, can you guys still hear me? Are we good with the sound?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. In his fun facts, he pretty much does a lot of class engagement to keep the participants engaged. So he gives fun facts. He makes sure everybody writes them down. And then he goes back and says, well, what did we talk about in week 24? What did we talk about in week 50? And whoever gets it right, they get a prize. And so he gives out all of these really amazing information about health and wellness and fitness. And you can win something if you're basically staying on top of all that information. So our next fitness trainer is Irma Hernandez. Oh, I love Irma. She teaches what we used to call it Zumba. We can't call it Zumba, so we either call it Biocomingo or Moves and Grooves. And Irma Hernandez is a cardio and dance fitness class instructor, which is very similar to Zumba, but we can't call it Zumba basically because it's copywritten. And it's held every Monday at 11 a.m. via Zoom. And at the end of each class, you'll get to ask her questions about any of the moves that she's making or any health questions. Irma is really, really, really amazing. And she's also really great help. She helps me with packing the food for my cooking class too, which I'm very, very grateful for. Irma became an aerobics instructor in 1993. Her instructing training was actually done in her hometown in the city of Mexico City at a prestigious academy recognized by the FAA. And she's also studied in Beverly Hills, and she's also studied with a lady called called Olga Aerobics, among others. She's had her very own gym in Mexico, which was quite popular because Irma is quite the sassy dancer. And she's been teaching in the Bay Area since 2002. And she loves teaching this class of Moves and Grooves with us, and she's awesome. So if you all ever are ready, to get yourself moving, Irma's the one that's going to get you moving and dancing around. Okay, she's a great instructor. All right, so our next fitness instructor is Winifred Cabanis. Winifred Cabanis is part of our Let's Get Moving crew. She's our Pilates instructor. The Pilates class is held every Tuesday at 11 a.m. via Zoom. And at the end of the class, once again, you'll be able to ask Winifred questions. So there's a Q&A at the end of class, and she really takes her time at answering all of the questions. She's very patient, very gentle, and her class really gets you a good stretch and get your blood circulating and really gets you sweating, honestly. Winifred is a certified fitness instructor in multiple formats, including body sculpting, Pilates and mat apparatus, and restorative yoga. And also active aging. Stretching, stability, balance, and fall prevention. She's really kind of a master of it all. She's anchored in the physical therapeutic aspects of Pilates work on rehab of the joints, muscles, and muscle and bone alignment. Winifred has built a reputation for building multi-age fitness coalitions of persons of varied strength and fitness aptitudes. And she has championed her technique in many settings, corporate and commercial. All right, so Winifred also has she's a great, great instructor. So please cry out to you, please take Winifred's class because she's really, really good and you'll feel really good after taking Winifred's class. We've been very blessed to actually collaborate with some really, really amazing City of Oakland instructors. So all three of these instructors were actually previously employees of the City of Oakland. So we're very grateful that we've been able to pull them into the good life and actually keep it really in the community. All right, so the next class, oh, look who's that? That looks like me. So for the nutrition part of our program, I am the instructor. I teach the class. It is a vegetarian-based class, and this class is called Let's Get Cooking. And this class is every Thursday at 11 a.m. So some of you all on the call may have been in the class today. Today we made rainbow pizza. It was amazing. Thank you for everybody that came out to the class. And so the Let's Get Cooking class is basically, it's a nutrition class that's really centered around exploring all of the amazing fruits and vegetables out there that nature has to offer, to make sure that we are eating very well, that we're nourishing our bodies, that we're eating things that are associated with developing good keeping and developing good brain health, strengthening our bodies, and making sure that we're eating foods that that are medicine to our bodies, right? Because our motto at The Good Life is that exercise and nutrition is medicine. Okay. All right. So you can catch me every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. via Zoom. All right. Let's go on to the next slide. All right. So one of my favorite components of The Good Life that we are actually putting a lot of energy into is the spirit component of The Good Life. Because as we know, exercise, nutrition, and our mental health is really important. It's all tied in together, right? So if you're working out, you get your body nice and strong, you're eating right, it's really going to fall into an alignment with your mental health. And so currently we have a few programs, and I think I may have missed one, but I have a couple on here, and I'll pull up the website in the end to make sure that I cover all of them. So one that's actually going to be going away, this teacher, we have a class called The Sacred Pause with Tovi. And The Sacred Pause is a meditation series that explores foundations of emotional intelligence via mindfulness and meditation in order for us to thrive and build the core skills needed for peace, balance, and optimal wellness. We'll also learn why and how meditation can support us in reducing calming stress, as well as stress related to racism and trauma. Meditation helps us to be more resilient, so we live longer, happier, and healthier. And so, unfortunately, this April 4th is going to be the last session for Toby, but we will be replacing that this with another provider that will be teaching mindfulness. And so we will have that information up on the website as soon as we possibly can. So I would encourage everyone, if you have not signed up for this class, please sign up for Toby's last class and come and wish her well on her future endeavors, and just really get a good dose of meditation and some peace and calm into your life. It's really important. And it's a really, really beautiful class. And that class is going to be held on Monday, April 4th at 1 p.m. And you can register for that class at thegoodlifepath.org. Okay. And so we have a couple of other portions of our website, like brain health. So as we've started this program, we're building, and with the brain health, we'll have a lot of really fun things that are going to be coming to you. It's not populated as of yet, but we will be populating that component with lots of resources and information about brain health. And so we have some fun things coming to you, and the resource page will be populated with different resources that you can tap into if you need help or information in the community. All right, so one of the other components that we have for our spirit, which is coming to us soon. So this is something that is in the works. I'm extremely proud of this. This is something that is just making my heart sing for our spirit component. And this is Brothers Building Brothers, which this program is designed for Black men. And although our program is generally focused around our aging community, we have really made a conscious decision to open this up for our aging and the generations under, because it's really important to bridge the gap and really look at our community in a multi-generational level to make sure that we are providing space for healing and multi-generationally. So in the Brothers Building Brothers, Black men come together to enjoy each other's conversation and learn about themselves and their history through sharing of stories. They support one another and build resilience. We also are going to be exercising to build stronger bodies so that we can so that the Black men can be stronger role models for their friends, family, and live stronger for healthy generations to come, right? And so that's where our next class comes in. And so for this class, it's going to be an exercise class. And so for the original part of the class, it's going to be on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. starting April 20th via Zoom. And so the Brothers Building Brothers program is going to be a twice a week class, one class on Wednesday starting April 20th, the second class starting April 21st at 9 a.m., which is the exercise program. And that class is going to be led by Craig Cook and Harry Evans, who will be leading the speaking part of, so it's like a group session component of Brothers Building Brothers. And then Michael Tapman Jr. will be leading our exercise component, okay? And if you guys have any further questions about that, you could let me know. I think one of the things that I probably could have put on this slide, which I did not do, was the actual information, but I will make sure that I can get anybody the information if you need it. I should have put the data on there and not just on my speaker notes. So sorry about that. So I can get that information to you if you need it. All right, so another amazing program that we have, which hopefully a lot of you all have come out to, is our Mind, Body, and Spirit. And Mind, Body, and Spirit happens once a month at the last Wednesday of the month. And with Mind, Body, and Spirit is where we have distinguished speakers in the community come out and talk to our participants about living better for longer. It's a really amazing series. This month, we're going to be joined by Dr. Arnold, for the month of April, so it's still March. So for the month of April, we'll be joined by Dr. Thomas Arnold, DDS, who is a dental, he's a dentist, and he's going to be talking about senior dental care and the importance of good dental hygiene. All right, so that's going to be a really, really important and resourceful session for Mind, Body, and Spirit. So you can also sign up for those classes at thegoodlifepath.org, but I'll make sure that I go ahead and lead everybody to that place before we end this presentation. You can tell me if I'm going over time because I think I'm about 27 minutes in right now. All right, and so we'll keep going.
And Jeanette, if you'll send us the flyer for that, I'll make sure it gets out in our newsletter.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, and so
I just put the website in the chat.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Thank you, Dr. Johnson. And so for any support, if you need any support, if you go onto the website and you have any types of issues with registering for classes, or you're not getting your links or anything, this is the support info, contact info@thegoodlifepath.org. We have a phone number for you where you can reach out if you need to get somebody online, because sometimes it's maybe not everybody's built for emails. You like to get somebody on the phone immediately. I know I'm that person. I'm gonna pick up the phone and call you type of person. So 510-306-2584 is our contact information. And if you ever need to get in contact with me, I will be more than happy to help you through anything. Once again, my name is Jeanette Merrick, and my email information is smerrick@ucdavis.edu. And thank you all so much. Thank you, and welcome to the Good Life, folks. All right, and that's it. That's my reason. And I think, did I stop sharing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Awesome. So this is
answer all your questions now.
yeah, this is a perfect time.
All right, cool.
Feel free, anyone, go ahead and take yourself off mute. There's also the chat button or chat box available. And again, if you need to know how to take yourself off mute, if you wiggle your mouse or touch your screen, there's the microphone button in the lower left-hand corner.
And as we're waiting for people to get all of their questions, the one thing I think we should also say, Jeanette, is that the good life is really about multi-generational health, and that we are trying to support Black American families in Oakland, and that things like the men's group is not just older men, but we're encouraging sons and fathers,
Absolutely.
grandsons and grandfathers. We're encouraging multiple generations, daughters and moms to show up to dance class, and we want to support the entire family.
Yes, absolutely. That is absolutely true. We are here really to support the families because we definitely see the need that, you know, like when you heal one, you really want the whole family to be healed. And so it's really exciting to be able to be a part of that now. Do we have any questions? Any questions at all? If we go ahead, yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, what time was the presentation on the 27th for the DDS?
For the mind, body, and spirit. Yes, Bo, thank you for your question. I appreciate you. So for the mind, body, and spirit, that presentation starts at 12:30. So it follows the Let's Get Moving class. So Let's Get Moving starts at 11. And if you get the link to Let's Get Moving and you're in class working out, you can either stay in the session and we push you back into the waiting room. And then we let people in at 12:30, or you can kind of leave, come back, but it's going to be that same link. So at 12:30 on Wednesday, April 27th is the time for that class.
Okay.
Thank you for your question.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here.